facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hey there everyone, I'm your friendly raccoon friend, Beaton, and welcome back to more Trash Can Tidbits. Last week I asked the question, did Naughty Dog receive permission from Disney to have Monkey Island references in Uncharted 4? The answer is both yes and no. They didn't have permission at first, but as the game was being written, writer Neil Druckmann snuck in some references to Guybrush Threepwood. Disney eventually found out about these references and then gave their permission for them to be used. Even some of the game's dialogue references specific lines from the series, including, "That's the second biggest blank I've ever seen," directly quoting Guybrush himself. Now with that addressed, on to the video. So, you just joined the Furry Fandom. Congratulations, you just made a very big and awesome decision. Now what do? I'm glad you asked. This week on TCT, I'm going to show you 10 tips to get you started in the Furry Fandom. Now, these are not any specific steps to take, everyone has their own methods. Some of these steps may not work for everybody, but they've definitely worked for me. Hopefully, if you are a furry just getting started in the fandom, you'll find your own way of making it here. And here we go with number 1. Creating a fursona. You technically don't need a fursona to be in with the fandom. I've seen artists aplenty that don't necessarily have fursonas, but I feel it would be neat to have one to create your own unique identity within the furry fandom. Now, how do you create a fursona? I'd start with a favorite animal, or choosing an animal that you feel represents your own real personality. The great thing about the fandom is that you can create or describe your character in any way that you want. You can have it represent or not represent you, give it characteristics that you like or would like to have within yourself. And don't be afraid to experiment. And most importantly, you definitely do not need a fursuit to be in the fandom. Number 2, follow artists. The great thing about the fandom is that there are many artists to see, follow, and comment on their work. You can find plenty of favorite artists on sites like Fur Affinity, DeviantArt, or even Twitter. Lots of artists even advertise on these sites, and the works can range from simple drawings to full animations. You will definitely find an artist, or 2, or 300 that you will like. And that in turn will lead to finding more artists that they like and take inspiration from. Number 3, finding furries to hang out with. When it comes to actually finding furries to hang out with, definitely start with social media. Folks tend to hang around on chat networks like Telegram or Discord, where you'll find lots of chats to get you started. Chances are you'll find someone who lives near you. I've found a lot of my best friends on Telegram. Always experiment with more than one form of social media to see what works best for you. And if you happen to find someone online who actually lives near you, try getting together with them. You never know what can happen. Number 4, initiating the conversation. This is always the hardest part, striking up a conversation with a furry. Pretty much all of us are friendly, easy to talk to, and dabble in a variety of subjects. When it comes to talking anthropomorphic animals, that is always going to be the jumping off point. Cartoons, video games, movies, animation, it's what we live for. You can literally picture everyone in the room with their ears perking up when they talk about their favorite furry media. It's always a lot of fun to do that with my friends and see what they like and don't like. There's always common ground when animals are involved. Number 5, going to meets and conventions. Furries love cons. No question about that. But even smaller fur meets are fun as well. Going to a diner, going to a bowling alley, an arcade, the movies, you name it. We love it all. Starting with a small meet will definitely get your foot in the door. When it comes time to go to a convention though, you want to make sure a particular con will suit your needs, because again, each con is different and provides a similar but at the same time different experience. No two cons are alike in terms of size and scale. For example, if you make your first con something big like Anthrocon, you may get overwhelmed by how big it actually is. I made the same mistake my first year in the fandom. But the more cons you go to, the easier the experience is and the more fun you will end up having. Number 6, getting art. Now, following artists was the beginning. If you actually want to commission art from someone, that's a whole different ballpark. Some artists are open all the time, some are more intermittent with their commissions and open at specific times. You may not always get the artist you want because they take limited slots or are too expensive, but don't fret. You can either always wait till they open again or go to someone else. And there is also no shortage of artist marketplace on Telegram where artists can advertise. Don't be afraid to ask around to see who may be open. Again, you never know. You may even get some recommendations. Those are always good. You will totally find a style that you'll like and will want to commission them again and again and again. Number 7. Getting a fursuit. Fursuits are, again, not required to be in the furry fandom. In fact, there are a majority of folks who don't even have one. But if you do want to get one, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, how much do you want to spend for one? There are lots of fursuit makers to choose from, and again, going searching online is your best friend. It's really amazing how many fursuit makers there are, whether there are no names or even up-and-comers. Another thing to ask yourself is, do you want to get a partial or a full suit? A friendly warning though, fursuiting is not for anyone, as you will sweat a lot. But if you like performing and finding a way to communicate through body language in a fursuit, then hopefully it'll be worth it. Number 8. Virtual reality. If you find that fursuits are not the way to go, then that's fine. One thing that's gotten to be a big thing in the fandom sooner than expected, and certainly apropos for these times, is virtual reality. Some furries have a big VR presence and have created specific content within different apps like VR Chat or Neos VR. The former, though, has the bigger online presence, and there are plenty of artists and 3D modelers alike that have taken to building furry avatars to play around with in VR. If you want to do that, then go for it. Virtual reality has become a great alternate for going to fur meets or attending conventions when we are unable to leave our homes. And there was always something to do on there. Number 9. Making content. If you yourself are an artist or budding content maker looking for a creative outlet, then you definitely came to the right place. The furry fandom has its fair share of artists, performers, songwriters, social media personalities, etc. that will definitely provide inspiration to find your own place here. Even as a smaller scale YouTube creator, I definitely found my own outlets and niche, and a dedicated fan base that makes me want to continue making content. If I weren't in the fandom, I don't think I would have been able to pursue making YouTube videos. What's great about the fandom is that there are lots of people that will support your endeavors. Whether it's music or art, the furry fandom is definitely the place to express all of it. You will definitely find something to create yourself, and you'll want to show it off. Number 10. Having fun. This will definitely sound cliche, but at the end of the day, it's not about popularity or making it big in the fandom. It's all about having fun. When it comes to any large group of individuals, we're just ordinary people creating an escape from our own humdrum lives, just spreading joy and positivity through what we create. There is no right or wrong way to do things in this fandom. We just express ourselves in the form of a cute anthropomorphic character, and that's just fine with me. Some people treat furry like a hobby, others like a lifestyle, and that's okay too. In the end, what really matters is the time you spend, who you spend it with, and always, always, always have lots of fun. And here's this week's trivia question. The James Bond movie GoldenEye is known for having one of the longest pre-production wait times between films. The previous film in the franchise, License to Kill, came out in 1989, and GoldenEye came out 6 years later in 1995. My question to you is, true or false? No Time to Die will also be released 6 years after the previous Bond film, Spectre. And there we go for this week. I hope you enjoyed this list of things to help you get started in the furry fandom. I should switch things up a little more often. Let me know what other kind of furry related topics you want me to talk about. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for future video notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.